Rounding decimals to the nearest hundredth. When rounding to the nearest hundredth, your benchmarks, we're going to use a number line. And your benchmarks are going to be hundredths. And when you check your work, the last thing you say should be hundredths. If you say a whole number, then you probably round it to the nearest whole. If you say a tenth, then you probably round it to the nearest tenth. Your last word should be hundredth. So let's start with 138 thousandths. We're going to find our place value, wholes, tenths, hundredths. Everything to the left gets left. So that's going to create our first benchmark, 13 hundredths, which is good because I'm rounding to the nearest hundredth. And then I need to add 1/100th, and that gives me 14 hundredths. To create our halfway point, everything to the left gets left, and then we add a 5. I can see if I ignore 135 is less than 138, so 138 thousandths is on this side of my halfway mark, and therefore we'll round to 14 hundredths. So 138 thousandths to the nearest hundredth is 14 hundredths. Let's do 1 and 709 thousandths. I'm going to use our number line. Find our place value that we're rounding to, wholes, tenths, hundredths. Everything to the left gets left, which creates our first benchmark. And then we're going to go, because we're rounding to the nearest hundredths, we're going to go up 1/100th. So 1 and 70 hundredths plus 100 is 1 and 1/100th is 1 and 71 hundredths. To create my halfway benchmark, I remember that everything to the left gets left, and then I put a 5. And I'm going to ignore the whole, and now I have 705, 709. 709 is greater, so we're going to go to the higher benchmark, 1 and 71 hundredths. How about 17 and 99 thousandths? We're going to find our benchmark, which is hundredths. Tens, ones, tenths, hundredths. Everything to the left gets left. And then I add 100th. So I have 17 and 9 hundredths, 17 and 10 hundredths. Everything to the left gets left, and then I add a 5. And ignore, and it looks like 95 versus 99. 99 is greater, so we round to 17 and 10 hundredths. Let's do 6 and 23 thousandths. Ones, tenths, hundredths. Everything to the left gets left, and then I'm going to add 100th. 6 and 300ths. For my halfway mark, everything to the left gets left, and I'll add a 5. If I cover up, 23 is less than 25, so we're closer to this benchmark, 6 and 200ths.